Good evening. Welcome to This Week in Review. Tonight's stories include Canadians went to the polls on Monday. Roof work is in progress on the Senior Centre. Renovations are being carried out in the Fisherman's Wharf. The Ski Club has set up a building in the Fox Farm area. A wildlife update and more, so please stay with us. First tonight, Newfoundlanders along with other Canadians all across Canada went to the polls on Monday, October 26 to vote yes or no to the Charlottetown Accord. X marks the spot was the slogan on Monday as voters all across Canada got out to cast their votes for or against the Charlottetown Accord. Of the 1,716 eligible voters here in Burgeo, only 773 came out to vote on Monday. That's only 45% of the eligible voters. Of the 773 who did vote, 615 voted yes to the Charlottetown Accord, 79.6% of the votes. 151 voters, or 19.5%, voted no to the Accord. The other 7 votes, or 0.9%, were rejected, including the one voter who voted for Deputy Returning Officer Audrey Anderson.
Contracts from Europe during a period of worldwide defense cutback, and because they will pursue further contracts in the short run. The returning officers report a moderate turnout, steady but not overly busy. At the end of Grand Falls again, voter turnout is fairly steady. Most of the for general elections.
Our community was divided up into 5 areas, and the 5 polling stations were set up at the Anglican Parish Hall. Some polling stations were busier than others, but unlike the larger centres, there were no lineups waiting to vote.
And global warming may have contributed to malaria epidemics in Africa. That assessment from the senior official of the World Health Organization. Alan Shapiro also warns that global warming could spread the deadly mosquito-borne disease into new areas across the world. DOTN 2020 weather report.
The advance poll that was set up for those who would not be able to make it to vote on Election Day saw only 7 voters. Work has been moving right along on the construction of the Senior Citizens Housing Complex here in Burgeo since the new contractor resumed the construction of the building last week. A lot has changed here at the site of the Senior Citizens Housing Complex since the contractor came in last week. Most of the roof trusses are now in place on the building. As well, much of the cement has been poured on the floor. There was no one working at the site on Thursday and Friday. The workers work 10 days straight and then take 4 days off, so work should resume tomorrow. I visited the wildlife office this past week to obtain statistics regarding the number of warnings given out and the number of poachers apprehended since the hunting season opened this fall. On Saturday, September 12th, the big game season opened here in Newfoundland. Most hunters set out to areas where they last saw a moose or caribou, whatever they were hunting for, but I guess not too many were lucky enough to see one like this, less than 50 feet from the road. There are rules and regulations that have to be followed when hunting, so we checked with the wildlife department to see how many charges they have laid or warnings they've given out since the hunting season started. I was informed that they have checked approximately 300 vehicles and boats. Of these checks, there have been 8 big game charges, 1 firearm charge, and 18 warnings have been given out by the wildlife department in our area. These particular animals were hanging around in the top pond area about 3 weeks before the moose hunting season began. At a BBS Board of Directors meeting held on March 31st of this year, it was decided to pass over the building located on the hill at Fox Farm to the Burgeo Ski Club. One newly established group here in Burgeo that seems to be going places is the Ski Club. They recently removed the building that was passed over to them by BBS from the hill where the tower is and moved it down closer to the ski trail where they are going to be housing some of their equipment. The Ski Club has also been successful in obtaining various projects to construct ski trails in the Fox Farm area over the past year or so. They've obtained 2 student projects, and now their latest project is a U-High topper, which will top unemployment insurance to $426 weekly. It's for 6 weeks, and it will employ 7 people. The requirements for this job is that you must be in receipt of UI benefits. The duties include cutting, clearing brush, bringing fill to upgrade existing ski trails, building bridges over small brooks, etc. Earlier in October, Bay developers completed a project to extend the area of the bait depot where boats are hoisted. Now, the bait depot wharf is undergoing renovations as well. The original tender for the fisherman's wharf was to replace the plank topping that was presently on the wharf with a cement top. However, once work got underway, it was found that many of the shores in the wharf needed replacing as well. Therefore, the contract was extended. One section of the wharf has been poured thus far. I had an interview with Town Manager Mr. Doug Kendall this past week to discuss the problems experienced with the town's water system over the past few weeks, as well as the recent tender advertised by the Burgeo Town Council. Mr. Kendall, over the past number of weeks now, there's been a boil order effect in place on the town's water system. Can you tell us what the problem was with the water system?
Yes, David. Approximately 3 weeks to a month ago, we developed problems with the chlorinator at the chlorination building. Regularly, we should be putting through approximately 40 pounds of chlorine every 24 hours into the system. However, due to a vacuum leak which developed in one of our chlorinators, the maximum that we could put through was 22 to 23 pounds in a 24-hour period. As a result of this, the water was not properly chlorinated. So therefore, the Department of Health advised us to, as a precautionary measure, to issue a boil order. That boil order went into effect at that time.
Okay, so has the problem been corrected?
Yes, as of today, as a matter of fact, I had a call from the Department of Health. Now what we did is, when we issued the boil order on the 9th of October, since that time we've been taking water samples each week for the past 3 weeks. They have been forwarded to the Department of Health, they've been analyzed, and we have found that the 3 samples taken, one taken on October the 13th, another on October 20th, and the final one this week, October 27th. And all of those samples proved to be good. My understanding from talking to the Department of Health, it was the water is excellent and the boil order is no longer into effect.
Okay, so is this the same problem that was experienced when the first boil order was issued?
Yes, that was basically the same problem.
Okay. I understand that the council also put out a tender for a water line to Mr. Zed and also some renovations in the Lankan area. Can you tell us a bit about this tender?
Yes, David. We were successful in obtaining government funding in the amount of $178,600. This funding is to do some work at the dam site. It's to strengthen the dam, also to clean out any mud or sediment around the intake, and to install a hoist house to hoist the screens up for cleaning at the dam. The other part of the funding is to increase the size of the water line at the chlorination building. The reason for this is we've got low pressure around town, and this is due to the fact we've only got a 6-inch line in the chlorination building, and that will be going now to a 12-inch line. And the other part of the funding was for the Mr. Zed Road, to install a water line and fire hydrant and connect the houses in that area up to the town's water system. What we are presently doing, we're in contact now with the department. The low bidder was Midland Construction. We have accepted that tender and we're waiting for ministerial approval to go ahead and award that contract and get work started. I had a call from Mr. Gilbert's office this morning and he assured me that this approval will be forthcoming not later than tomorrow afternoon. So hopefully that we can have Midland on site, and our priority with regard to this project is the water line on Mr. Zed.
Okay, so work will be carried out this fall?
Yes, hopefully work will be carried out this fall, and the only way that it won't be carried out if it gets a early winter. Now we're anticipating it will take probably 2 to 3 weeks to do this work on Mr. Zed, and that's to install the water line. So hopefully we can get started by the first week in November, which is next week. By the end of November, we should be able to complete that.
Okay, Mr. Kendall, thanks for speaking with us.
Oh, you're kindly welcome, Dave.
Kids add an added bonus for Halloween this year as October 31st fell on a Saturday, which gave them a full day to go trick-or-treating. We set up our camera to film the kids as they went door to door.
Here you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Here you go.
Community events. The LOL TV bingo held on Wednesday night was won by Lucy Ingram and Eileen Warren. The Lioness will be having a TV bingo on Wednesday. Cards are $1 each or 6 for $5 and are available in most stores around town. Please support your local Lioness Club by playing TV bingo. Elementary school parents. The elementary school is sponsoring a parenting skills class. Improving relationships between parents and children will be the focus of a series of discussion dialogue sessions beginning on Monday, November 9th, from 10 a.m. to 11:45 a.m. at the elementary school. Systematic training for effective parenting encourages mutual respect between parents and children, leads to increased cooperation, more effective communication, and a more responsible, self-reliant attitude amongst children. Prepare your child for a better future in life. Miss Ann Wagner, guidance counselor, will be the discussion leader. Please call Miss Floss Hare for more information or to register at 886-2590 in the morning or at 2543 in the afternoon. There is no fee for the classes. The Anglican Parish Office regrets that the birth register from 1975 to 1982 is missing. If anyone wants confirmation of their child's birth between these dates, they should write to the following address and send $10. The Division of Vital Statistics, Department of Health, Post Office Box 4750, St. John's, Newfoundland, A1C 5T7. You must write for this certificate.
You're welcome.
Well, that's it for tonight's program. Please stay with us now for a short film filmed going down the coast from Burgeo to Grey River on board the MV Gallipoli this summer. On behalf of BBS and all the BBS volunteers, I'm Dave Cooper, wishing you a great week. Good night.